swinging away and socks this to deep left field. That is gone! Bryson Horn.
Where's the pulse with the ball? It's a chest high step. He looks down the middle of the field. He's going to throw the ball run. Has it in the field. Intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline. He steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. And that's how you cap the game up. Jabril White called game on his third interception of the evening.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand. Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
He finds Edwards. Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counter attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward, looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Bounty comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. The Vikings are champions of California.
Good evening, faithful fans of the green and white, and a happy New Year's to you and your family. Tonight, we've got a matchup between the Giants and the Vikings. College of Sequoias comes into the DVC Palladium, and they will take on the Vikings here at Steve Coach Emilio Court. It's going to be a big test in front of the Vikings tonight. They already knocked off one top 15th ranked team in Las Positas College, and they've got the number 8 ranked team in the state coming into town tonight to take on the Vikings right before the New Year's. The Giants come into this one led by fifth-year head coach Dallas Jensen, and he's leading the squad to a 10-2 record currently. The last victory for COS came against Gavilan, and that was a 75-61 final. This is the team that has played a lot of close matchups. On the 14th of December, they played and won against the College of Cerritos. That was a 71-68 final. Previous to that, a 68-66 victory over Butte, and then prior to that one on a back-to-back, or the front end of back-to-back, it was Antelope Valley, and they won that one 75-72. So this is a team that's used to playing a bunch of close games in this last few segments of this season. Their only 2 losses of the season have come to the same exact team, the number 7th ranked CCSF Rams, so the City College of San Francisco. And this is going to be an interesting one tonight. We'll get you starters in just a moment. I do not have them at the moment, but the scatter report for this team so far, I mean, this is a team that's just very good across the board at multiple different categories. 11th in the 3C2A in field goal percentage, in three-point percentage, and really just a stout, terrific team rebounding the basketball. 4th at 45.6 rebounds per game, and they are the number 1 team in the state in defensive rebounds per game, averaging 32.3. It's a team that doesn't turn over the ball. I mean, does turn over the ball a good amount, but they really move around the ball very well. 19.4 assists per game. That's 5th in the 3C2A. And I mean, this is just a team that you got to play some very fundamental basketball against. They won't give you many options to come up with some offensive rebounds. They'll handle the ball well, so heavy ball pressure will help them turn it over just because they move the ball around so much. But this is a team that you really got to look out for and play your best basketball against. They're holding their opponents to the 2nd best in the state at only 35.6 points field goal percentage and 64.2 points per game. And for the Vikings tonight, I mean, this is truly the litmus test going into really the bulk of the season. So the Vikings on the other side lost to Sac City by a final of 108-87 last time around, and that was to open up Big 8 play. And they'll play this one standalone preseason game before coming back and going back into Big 8 play. They lost against Sacramento City, who's really been on a hot streak. I mean, this is one of the hottest teams in the Big 8 in the early season. Sacramento City College, 12-1 up to that point in the season, 9-1 in their last 10 games as well. So, I mean, just a terrific squad up there in Sacramento. So, I mean, you got to look at these situations and understand that you can't really fall behind early. If you look at the first half of that game against Sacramento City College, it was 56-33 after the first 20 minutes of play. And I mean, the Vikings just weren't at full strength as well. You got to look at it. And Webster and Keys were missing, so that's a lot of the post presence for the DVC Vikings not making it out to that game over in Sacramento. The rebounding margin really showed. I mean, Cole Webster is one of the best rebounders for the Vikings, only averaging 4.4 per game, but in reality, he's one of those guys that can get up alongside Michael Wood and get some boards for your squad. So missing him, missed a lot of size inside. I mean, it's hard to replace the 6'8" forward out of LA Premier Prep. So I'm not sure if he'll be playing again today, but we'll get a read on that in just a moment. But yeah, the rebounds were really an issue for the Vikings. -16 was the margin against Sacramento City College, and they didn't move the ball around very freely at all, only having 10 assists in that one, fouling a lot as well. 20 for 26, that was Sacramento City College final free throw lining at the end of it. And I mean, three-point shooting is going to be a big factor as well. Vikings 10 for 35, that's 29% compared to the Sacramento City College 10 for 20, shooting at the 50% marker. And if you dig into the numbers a little bit deeper, this is a team where when they can get their defense going, the Vikings can absolutely send you out of town. They're 4-8 on the year, led by fourth-year head coach Irv Anderson. But if you look at some of those numbers a little bit further, in the wins that the Vikings have had, they've had 45% from the three-point line, and in their losses, only 24%. So outside shooting will be a massive factor for the Vikings this evening. And in terms of field goal percentage as well, I mean, the inside shots have fallen pretty well for the Vikings in a win or a loss. 48% in a win, 41% in a loss. But this is where really the numbers lie. It is the defensive aspect of it. In wins, the Vikings have held opponents to 38% field goal shooting. In losses, 52% field goal shooting. So I mean, that's a huge difference of over or just a little under 20% in that situation. And from the arc, I mean, that's a big factor as well. 26% given up in three-point shooting in wins, 46% given up in losses. So the keys to this game will definitely be securing boards and really securing position, clean ball movement. You're getting Vinny Hurtado back, so that's going to really solidify one of the units for the Vikings. They like to run a lot of different units onto the floor, and really playing stout perimeter defense. You cannot allow this team to really tee off from deep. It's a team that will knock down the deep shot at a 38% rate. So that is kind of what we have on hand. So we'll take another quick timeout, and we'll be back on the other side of the break for the starting tip-off, and we'll give you starters there as well. So stay tuned. We're tuning to DVC Vikings Live. So we've got starters read out, and I'll get you them quickly. At a one guard, it will be the sophomore 6'2" guard out of Modesto. It will be Alex Argandar. At another guard, it will be the freshman 6'5" freshman, 200 pounds out of Santa Clara. It's Davis White. Omari Nisbet, number 2, will be at the other guard, and the 2 forwards on the floor will be number 11, Jaden Hare, the 6'7" out of Hanford, California, and number 22, Cameron Clark, the forward/center, 6'9" out of Genuine, Georgia. And on the other side for the Vikings, it's Kai Curry, Lorenzo Pardo, Ben Tejas, Michael Woods, and Elijah Keys. Keys has missed the last few games, so it's good to see him back in the lineup. So taking the middle of the floor, it'll be Cameron Clark versus Michael Wood. Tip is up, and it's won by COS. Coming back to get the ball is Mara Nisbet, and we'll see this first look of the COS offense as Argandar has the ball. Dribbling down the left side of the wing. Hook passes over to the right wing. It's Nesbitt for 3. Nesbitt drills his first shot, averaging 10.9 points per game. And it makes it a 3-0 lead for the College of Sequoias at the 9:38-minute mark. Kai Curry getting the handles tonight. Keys to the car for him, running the first unit. Going inside and getting rejected from the left block was Ben Tejas. Tejas slow to get up at the end of the play. Seeing the situation, rotating back around to Argandar. And then a feed inside, nearly stolen away, knocked out of bounds. Last touch off of Tejas. They tried to get it inside to Argandar, but Tejas was able to come back, knock the ball away after holding his left leg for just a moment. It looks like maybe just a little bit of a slip of a shoe. So the Vikings coming to this one wearing their gray tops, gray bottoms with the green numerals. On the other side, blue tops, blue bottoms with the orange numerals and the orange trim for COS. Working his way inside, left-handed shot that was here, missing it. Rebound brought in by Michael Wood. 9:11 mark here. Vikings get one stop and looking to get their first basket of the game now. Lorenzo Pardo with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Swings it over to Michael Wood. Michael Wood pump fakes from 3. Drops it off. Nope, it's not. It's returned back over to Pardo. And now at the 12-second mark, it'll be Kai Curry running it. Passes to the right wing. 2-man game. Finds a shot wide open on the right block, but missed by Kai Curry. Good defense by COS as they push down the floor. Vikings get back on defense, though. Dribbling up the top of the key. It's Nesbitt, I believe. Pardon me, that's 10. That's Coelho. And a shot inside, swatted away by Keys. And a travel. The ball was blocked over the top. Jaden Hare got it off the ricochet, but a terrific swat meeting him at the summit for Elijah Keys. And the Vikings will have an opportunity down the floor now. Keys necessarily isn't the biggest at 6'4", but man, his presence inside of the post was definitely missed the last couple games. Keys rolling inside, spins around, has 3 men on top of an underhand scoop shot over to Lorenzo Pardo. And Pardo was hit in that 3-point shot. They'll call it a clean block, though. So a block, and Argandar steps up to the 3-point line. Over to the right wing, feeding inside the post, it's Cameron Clark. Cameron Clark over to Nesbitt. And now rotation over to Argandar. Feeding the post for Hare. Hare loses the ball at the bottom, nearly stolen away. It's a jump ball on the middle of the post, and it looks like the ball will go over to the Vikings. Yes, it will. So terrific help defense coming up underneath, losing the handle inside of the post, and then Ben Tejas tied up Jaden Hare underneath the basket, and the 6'7" freshman from Hanford, California is called for the jump ball, and now the Vikings will inbound it from the left side of the floor. A little bit of a cleanup job done by the officials now, as it's still early in the game, only at the 17:54-minute mark, but we can get those warm-ups, get done properly. That's what's going to happen. You get that nice little sweat, and now a full court pressure brought on by COS. Pardo over to Curry, back over to Pardo as he crosses the timeline. Wide open left wing shot. Ben Tejas, no good. Tipped up in the air, swatted out. Terrific jobs by Keys, giving an opportunity for the Vikings to get the second chance basket. Crossover dribble now. Tejas, NBA range this time, nothing but net. Ben Tejas strokes the triple, and it's tied up 3-3. It's about a 2-minute, 30-second drought of scoring by COS up to this point. Vikings getting the first basket. 3 balls traded in this early going, and a turnover. Trying to go inside the lane was Argandar. He swung it all the way out to the official, hit the official's foot that was out of bounds, and the Vikings force a turnover. Starting lineup still on the floor for both teams after just under 3 minutes of play here in the first half. Keys from the right elbow, spins around, back over to Pardo. Pardo for three, same exact spot from Tejas, but this time just a little too strong. You can feel the frustration for Pardo as he claps his hand, getting back on defense. The ricochet went out of bounds, and now COS will have another opportunity here. Three-quarter court pressure. It's a little bit of a shell defense from the Vikings here, and they'll just force some clean ball movement for COS down the floor. Ball was knocked out of bounds, last touched off of Michael Wood, and no fouls up to this point at the 16:54-minute mark of this first half. Sideline inbounds for Argandar. He scans the floor with Kai Curry cut in front of him. Inbounds it over to Coelho. And a foul will be called against COS. Off-ball screen. The first foul will go against Jaden Hare. So in the grand scheme of things, the Vikings have not committed a foul, but when it comes to opportunities at the basket, this is a team that only shoots 61.6%, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings get really physical inside against this COS team. Lorenzo Pardo dribbles with his left hand, 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Back over to Kai Curry, and he calls the set with his right hand, almost a rodeo motion. Right-handed dribble, working his way inside, back over to Curry. Curry with 5 seconds left. Curry inside, throws up the floater, offensive rebound. Keys, the putback, no good. And the defensive rebound brought in by Argandar. Down the floor, Vikings get there back on defense. And now Nesbitt, over to Coelho. Coelho dribbles over to the short right wing, 19-foot jumper, no good. Offensive rebound by Nesbitt. Nesbitt goes up, Keys will foul him in the process. Keys stood tall there, but just good awareness by Omari Nesbitt, being able to fly in for the rebound, get into the body of Keys, and earn a trip to the free throw line. Nesbitt is one of those guys that does shoot fairly well from the free throw line, the 6'1" sophomore from Sacramento, California, a 75% free throw shooter. So if you are to foul somebody, Nesbitt is not necessarily the guy you want to send to the free throw line. First free throw's up and good, and all 4 points for COS will go over to Nesbitt now. So rotation here, Keys will come out. In comes DJ Evans, the 3-and-D man for the Vikings, as well as Vinny Hurtado. So 2 point guards on the floor with Kai Curry, Vinny Hurtado, alongside Tejas, DJ Evans, and Michael Wood. Second free throw on its way for Omari Nesbitt. Bottoms the net as well. All 5 points now in this 5-3 game for Nesbitt. Only one big on the floor for the Vikings right now. And Kai Curry bringing it across the timeline. Loses the handle, but Vinny Hurtado able to pick it up before it goes out of bounds. Hurtado dribbles down the left wing, over to the corner. 3-point shot missed, but a foul. Ben Tejas fired away from 3. But Davis White got his legs intertwined with him, and he'll send Ben Tejas to the free throw line to shoot 3. A terrific opportunity here for Ben Tejas. He's got the 3 points for the Vikings so far. The best free throw shooter at 88% for the Vikes. Tejas coming off a massive game against Sacramento City College. That one was a 29-point performance for Ben. First free throw rattles out though. Call it the good old broadcaster's jinx. Tejas, like I said before, 4 for 11 from beyond the arc, 50% from the field, 9 for 18 in that 29-point performance. He was 7 for 9 as he makes the second free throw opportunity here. He's got 4 points now. And yeah, just a terrific game by Ben Tejas last time around. And expect him to have another productive night if this trend continues. 5-5 all coming from the same exact manner as well. Tejas with 2 free throws and a 3-point shot. Nesbitt with 2 free throws and a 3-point shot for himself. Vikings knotted up with the number 8 team in the state in this early going, 15:34 remaining. Right wing for Nesbitt. Pardon me, that's Coelho out to the corner. Argandar curls it out. DJ Evans tips it over to Hurtado. And I believe this might be an off-the-ball foul called against COS. That'll be their third. Cameron Clark picks up his first foul. So 3 fouls on COS, 1 foul on the Vikings. And we have a knotted up game here in this low-scoring affair at the 15-minute mark. Vinny Hurtado back over to Tejas from the left wing. Doesn't take the 3, instead gets inside, right-handed scoop shot. A terrific job on defense as White gets the ball, and the ball will stay with the Vikings. I don't think it was called a foul, maybe a foot out of bounds on the rebound here, and now we'll get a substitution. Cameron Clark checks out. In comes Jalen Lee, the 6'9 center from Las Vegas. And for the Vikings, Lorenzo Pardo checks in, giving Ben Tejas a breather. Hurtado over to the corner. Kai Curry swings it back around over to Hurtado. Pardo from the left wing. Vinny nearly has the ball tipped away. 2 seconds left. Vinny heaves up a last-second three-point shot. Airballed it. No opportunity. 30 seconds of great defense played by the College of Sequoias. And the Giants will force a turnover on the Vikings. 14:50 remaining here in the first half. Left wing goes over to Davis White. Feeds inside to his big man. That's Jalen Lee. Working on Michael Wood. Swings over the top of the key. Davis White back inside. The feed to the short block. Cross-court pass now. Penetrates the baseline. Goes up inside. Right-handed shot off the glass. And Coelho gets his first points. Leading scorer for this COS team at 19.5 points per game. And he gets his first basket. Under 15 minutes to play here in the first. 7-5 is our score here as COS has the 2-point lead over the Vikings and this nitty-gritty defensive battle in this early going. Curry turns around, back over to Pardo. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Taps his head to call the play, looking for a screen. Instead, he'll have to run. Pushes over to the corner. Hurtado, leaning jumper. And that one had no business going up. The Vikings just fell way too far behind in the shot clock. And now a transition three-point shot from the left wing. No good. Nesbitt missed it. Ball tipped in the air. Vikings get it. It's a 2-on-2. Pardo, left block. Pardo hesitates and gets the basket. Filling the cup is Pardo as he ties it up at 7-all at the 13:38-minute mark. Vikings not putting that shell pressure that they did just a few minutes ago. Instead, they'll line up in the man-to-man defense. Pardo comes to double. It leaves Coelho open. Step back. Top of the key, miss. Offensive rebound by Davis White. He runs over to the corner. Vinny Hurtado nearly swats the ball away, but Jalen Lee gets it off the ricochet. Back over to Davis White. And now Coelho will back his way up. Coelho steps into a three. Very highly contested. Coelho's got the last 5 points now, and it's 10-7. Mo Wilson to the scorer's table for the Vikings here. And this 3-point lead, and Hurtado's turning around, talking to his head coach at 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Right hand up in the air for Curry. Doesn't get the screen, instead passes over to Pardo. Pardo, left wing, Curry, 8 seconds left, tries to throw it inside, has the ball knocked away, a turnover and a steal. Quickly down the other side of the floor, ball was knocked out of bounds as Coelho tried to come inside. But the ball will stay with COS with about 21 seconds remaining. We'll get a 30-second timeout, and we'll take that alongside with them here on DVC Vikings Live. 10-7, COS has the early advantage at the 12:32-minute mark. Back on the floor here after the 30-second timeout. 12:32 remaining in this first half of play. 3 fouls against COS, 1 foul against the Vikings in this 10-7 game. It'll be Davis White, or pardon me, that's Alex Argandar inbounding over to Jalen Lee, and Jalen Lee's being double-teamed now. Michael Wood will go one-on-one, lowers the shoulder, works his way inside, and an offensive foul called against Jalen Lee. Lee shoved off with his offhand as he was trying to jockey his way inside to the block. And Michael Wood doing a good job there, standing his ground. Jalen Lee picks up his first, and that's the 4th against COS. 10-7 Steelers score at the 12:22-minute mark. Marshawn Smith checks into the game for the first time for the Vikings as Lorenzo Pardo, high jumper, curls out, swatted out of bounds. Ball will stay, or pardon me, go to COS. So the 5 on the floor for the Vikings, Marshawn Smith, Mo Wilson, Lorenzo Pardo, Vinny Hurtado. and Michael Wood. And after Pardo misses that three, he'll be replaced by Ben Tejas. Tejas with 5 points of the Vikings so far tonight. The only other points coming the way of Lorenzo Pardo. Stopping his dribble is Nesbitt. Back over to Jalen Lee. And now it's Coelho. Coelho, straightaway three-point shot. Marshawn Smith, high flying rebound. And Marshawn Smith, man, he can fly. The 6'4", 180 freshman from Weston Ranch. Mo Wilson with 18 seconds left and a left-handed dribble here. Hands the ball off over to Ben Tejas, and now Tejas looking for a screen. Gets a screen from Michael Wood, passes over to Mo Wilson, but the ball ricochets off his hand. Saw the ball, but just wasn't able to cross it. Rotations on the floor, and we'll get you them as well in just a moment. It looks like Kai Curry will come in replacing Mo Wilson, and Michael Wood will get his first breather as Elijah Keys, who got an early block in this game, will come back in. So Marshawn Smith, Vinny Hurtado, Ben Tejas, Elijah Keys, and Kai Curry, the five on the floor for the Vikes. And a stoppage of play. I think there's a wet spot on the floor, so the officials want to make sure nobody slips. And while they're doing that, I'll give you a moment just to set you up with who's on the floor for COS. It is Davis White alongside Jalen Lee, the big man inside. Mikey Fletcher just checked in just moments ago for his first playing time. He'll be joined by Jaden Hare, who comes back into the game. And the last man on the floor, Jose Coelho, the 185 sophomore guard out of Harlem, New York. It's been a nitty-gritty game throughout this early going. Both teams, not many great opportunities at the basket. The Vikings really playing some stout defense in their early going. And as I was talking about the numbers before the game, defense is what really dictates the game for the Vikings. We know they can score. They're in the top 30 in the state in terms of points per game, but on the other side, the bottom 10 of the state in terms of opposition points given up per game at 84.6. So when the Vikings are playing defense, the ball will drop eventually. So despite the fact that COS is up, this is the type of game that the Vikings want to be playing. Davis White, mid-range jumper, missed. Offensive rebound by Jalen Lee. And I believe Jalen Lee will be called for another offensive foul. That'll be the second against Jalen Lee, the fifth on COS. So the Vikings about 2 away from the single bonus now. Or not about, they are 2 fouls away from the single bonus. Jalen Lee and Cameron Clark, the 2 big men, both 6'9". And the Vikings missing their big inside in Cole Webster. Ben Tejas fires away, straight away, 3 hits the back of the iron and ricochets out. Rebounded in by COS. The lob ahead, it gets over to Davis White after being knocked by Ben Tejas. And now a feed over inside to Clark. Rotates back around now to the right wing. It's over to Mikey Fletcher. And the 15-footer from the baseline missed. But an offensive rebound opportunity goes to a wide-open three-point shot, and Davis White collecting it and saying thank you. 13-7 now after back-to-back three-point shots for COS. Not necessarily in consecutive plays, but still back-to-back baskets are huge. Marshawn Smith steps, sees he had an opening, and Marshawn Smith answers the call for the Vikings, 13-19. You want to see Marshawn Smith get aggressive. When he's on, he can make some big plays happen. Marshawn Smith blocking the ball away, but the Vikings couldn't get out of their own way. A turnaround jump shot attempt, and the ball was swatted away. Marshawn Smith, after the block, will get a breather here. Him and Hurtado will be replaced. So DJ Evans comes back in alongside Michael Wood, Kai Curry, Elijah Keys, and Ben Tejas. Whips the ball inside, knocked around. White able to get it off the ricochet, but he turns the ball over as he tries to save it. Quickly down the floor now is Kai Curry. Kai Curry to the right wing. DJ Evans from the corner curls in. DJ Evans coming off a nice game, 3 for 6 from the three-point line. He is a nice 3-and-D threat for the Vikes, and man, just a tough foul called against Michael Wood there. He came in, tried to fight through a screen, and he'll be called for the foul. Wood picks up his first. That's only the second on the Vikings. And Wood will get a breather now as Marshawn Smith comes back in the game after checking out just moments ago. From the hash, it's Amari Nesbitt. Back over to Mikey Fletcher. Fletcher running the shooting guard position here, or pardon me, point guard position, but he will shoot it. Man, a deep three-point shot will give COS the 4-point advantage there. 16-12, trying to answer, missing the three ball. Very wide was DJ Evans, but underneath the basket, Elijah Keys was able to gather the wild shot, go up, and earn a trip to the free throw line with the and one. The Vikings really missed Keys in the last couple of games. He brings so much great energy for the Vikings. DJ Evans, it'll be officially statted down as a missed three, but man, let's call that one an assist. Elijah Keys, 5 for 7 from the free throw line in this midway point of the season so far. And the free throw's too strong, misses it off the heel of the iron, and COS will have the ball running down the floor with the 2-point lead. Under 10 minutes to play here at the 9-11 mark. Left-handed dribble for Jaden Hare. Over to the left wing, a three-point shot's missed by White. Marshawn Smith high-flying with the rebound once more. Bounce pass over to the right wing, it's Tejas. Tejas turns around, 15-footer jumper, didn't take it. Instead, a left wing three-point shot. That's drained as well. DJ Evans triples. This gives the Vikings, I believe it's their first lead at 17-16 now. It's a nice play in the first half of this early going. And on the other side, a block that the Vikings thought was going to be clean, but Elijah Keys instead will be called for the foul. Cameron Clark going to the free throw line, and this is somebody you're okay sending to the free throw line. Only a 50% free throw shooter. I mean, this guy is insane from inside of the post, though. Only 7 points as he's not much of a scoring threat as the first free throw goes in. That'll up his percentage to just above 50% now. But he is 7th in the 3C2A in blocks per game. A heck of a rebounder as well, leading the team at 8.3 rebounds per game. But man, he already has 30 blocks going into this point of the season. Statistically, he should have missed the second, but Cameron Clark comes up with both free throws, and that gives the lead back over to COS. 25 seconds left on the shot clock at the 8:30-minute mark here. And the Vikings trail by 1 in this defensive battle. Points are starting to open up here, though, as Marshawn Smith, short right wing jumper, curls around the rim, and it's brought in by Cameron Clark. And I believe this will be a second foul called against Michael Wood. Michael Wood picks up his second foul in succession here. And it looks like it'll give an opportunity for Romeo Traylor, the 6'4" sophomore from Clayton Valley Charter. Michael Wood checks out. It'll be Traylor alongside DJ Evans, Marshawn Smith, Ben Tejas, and Kai Curry. Those are the 5 on the floor for the Vikes. Jaden Hare crosses the timeline at the 23-second mark. Behind the back dribble, doesn't take the 3, instead finds a man open, wide away, straight 3-point shot. That was missed. I believe that was Amari Nesbitt, and the Vikings able to get the rebound after a few contested opportunities underneath the basket. Under 8 minutes to play, a deep 3-point shot. Tejas, too strong, one-handed rebound brought in by Marshawn Smith. Marshawn Smith flips it up, gets another O-board. Smith off the glass. Marshawn Smith, 2 O-boards and a made basket to make it 19-18. Man, Marshawn Smith's activity, you can feel his energy from anywhere on the floor. Scoop shot on the other side of the basket as Nesbitt gets back into the scoring way. He's made the first 5 points for COS that has been held off the boards up to that point. Terrific finish at the hoop. Marshawn Smith from the top of the key, dribbling down inside the lane. The turnaround jumper, 15-footer, no good, tipped up. Romeo Traylor tried to get the board, but it was knocked out of his hands. Transition 3-point shot, Davis White doesn't take it. And now a flip inside, a foul, and the foul was on the floor as Cameron Clark got the basket after the foul. That'll only be the 5th foul against the Vikings, though, so a sideline inbounds opportunity now for COS. Rotation here as I believe Mikey Fletcher checks out. In comes back Jose Coelho, the leading scorer for COS, averaging 19.5 points per game. Inbounds pass over to Nesbitt now. Nesbitt fires away right wing. Curls out. Rebound. O-board brought in by Clark. Now another opportunity. It's Davis White this time, front of the iron miss. Another O-board and a putback this time around. Cameron Clark gets his first basket of the game that came off of 2 straight offensive rebounds. Absolutely deserves that opportunity there. And now COS has the 22-19 lead. Kai Curry, right elbow, too strong, rebounded by Davis White. Vikings haven't got a clean shot in the last couple attempts here. Argandar over to the corner. It's Davis White, doesn't take the 3 instead. Passes over to the top of the key. And now a scoop shot inside. Argandar leaves it short, gets his own offensive rebound. Romeo Trailer comes fighting for the ball. No foul called on the ground. And the Vikings get the rebound with Benteas. Some good defense there, not allowing COS to really have an opportunity at that ball. After giving up the first initial offensive rebound, that is 22-19, left wing 3. Benteas strokes it in, splash. Tejas has 8 points, and we've got a game knotted up at 22, under 6 minutes to play here in the first half. Diving onto the floor, it'll be a jump ball, and the possession arrow should go back over to COS. A little bit of a sloppy play by College of Sequoias, and the Vikings able to capitalize on it. Kai Curry and Romeo Trailer checking out, so the Vikings will send out Lorenzo Pardo, Vinny Hurtado, Benteas alongside DJ Evans and Elijah Keys. A lot of size given up underneath, and the ball will go over to Cameron Clark, the tallest player on the floor. Davis White now back over to Clark. Nearly losing the handle, it's Coelho. Coelho drives down the baseline. Coelho, too strong, had the ball slapped out of his hands. It was DJ Evans going there, but Hurtado was able to get off the ricochet. Left wing now in the transition 3. DJ Evans gets the rebound after the missed shot from Pardo. And now the Vikings rotate it back around. Right wing, too strong for Vinny Hurtado, and the ball will be last touched by a Vikings player as it went out of bounds. Nesbitt out, in comes Keon Hayes for the first time. So it's Hayes alongside White, Cameron Clark, as we'll actually get one more rotation here as Davis White comes out. In comes Jaden Hare. So it's Hare, Clark, alongside what I believe is Keon Hayes. Yes, it is. He just checked in a moment ago. And Coelho with Argandar. Those are the 5 on the floor for COS. Left wing behind the back dribble. Argandar swings it over to the top of the key once more. Now over to the right wing. It's Coelho. Coelho under 10 seconds to shoot. Gets to the free throw line. 15-foot jumper. Money. Coelho's got 7 points now in this 24-22 point game. 4:46 remaining here in the first half as Benteas will try to answer. Pardo from the right wing doesn't take the shot. Instead has the ball knocked away from him about 15 feet from the basket. Over to Benteas now. DJ Evans left wing. DJ Evans no good. Ball's tipped. Oh man. I was trying to wheel that ball in because it was such a clean look, but the Vikings unable to answer here. 2-point lead, COS 24-22 are the Vikings. Free throw line jumper once more. Coelho misses the shot. High rebound for Benteas. Benteas running in front of the pack. Tejas had the ball knocked away. It was a 3-on-1 as Tejas was the one, and COS playing the good defense there. Ball's nearly knocked off his hands. It's Keon Hayes as Keon Hayes does turn the ball over eventually. It's a 3-on-2 now. Left wing 3. Money. Just absolute heat coming off the hand of Benteas tonight as he has our first Vikings in double digits. It's 25-24. The Vikings have a 1-point lead over the number 8 ranked College of Sequoias Giants, and that'll send us to another timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. Back in the floor now. Vikings will send out Marshawn Smith, Lorenzo Pardo, Vinny Hurtado, Elijah Keys, and Benteas, who just knocked down the last 3-point shot. 11-point performance up to this point at the 4-minute mark of the first half of play. Vikings playing some good defense in this early going, giving up a few different opportunities on the boards. But I mean, with a 1-point lead and a stout defensive game, you can't really complain. Terrific effort to get to the basket now. It was Argendar there, but the Vikings able to get the ball away. Lob ahead. And the Vikings will answer with a 3-point shot. Side of the iron miss. It was Ben Tejas unable to get to that ball. Keys tried to get to the offensive rebound, but instead it's back over to Coelho. Big man has the ball. It's Cameron Clark. Over to the free throw line. Here now a left wing triple. No good. Tipped out, but no Viking was there to pick it up. Omari Nesbitt, who just checks back into this game for COS. A jump pass inside. Low block left. No good once more for Jaden here, and the Vikings just playing some terrific defense throughout the first 17 minutes of play. Mid-range jumper way too short. Marshawn Smith wanted a foul on the play. He was talking to the official on his way back, retreating back on defense. And an offensive foul called against COS once more. This will not be a 1-and-1 opportunity because it was an offensive foul. But the turnover will give the Vikings the ball back with this 25 to 24 point lead. I believe it actually was just turnover, not a foul. So still one away from the single bonus of the Vikings. 2:45 remaining as Mo Wilson comes back in the game for the Vikes. Marshawn Smith from the left wing, 20 seconds left to shoot. Lorenzo Pardo over the baseline. Mo Wilson falls to the ground, shovels ahead, and they'll be called for a travel. Moselle Wilson just had his foot slip from underneath him at the 13-second mark on the shot clock, and Kai Curry will come in and replace him here. Coach Irvin Anderson talking to his young guard out of Ignacio Valley. And now COS trying to answer here at the 2:30 mark of the first half. Jumping his way inside, another scoop shot opportunity, and Coelho has 9 points now. Coelho with a few different acrobatic plays up to this point gives the 1-point lead back over to COS, 26-25. Pardo, left wing, answering the call. Yes! Lorenzo Pardo drains his first triple of the game, and he's got 5 points now, giving the Vikings back a 2-point lead. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Vikings need to start getting physical here. Continue to play physical, I should say. And man, just a little too easy. Jose Coelho now in double digits with 11 points, and he knocks it up at 28 with that soft shot off the right side of the glass. Kai Curry on the DVC Vikings D logo. 15 seconds left to shoot. Vinny Hurtado over to Pardo. Corner three. Rims out, and it's Cameron Clark who collects it. A lob ahead. Over to Davis White, pardon me, and that was actually Hare, as Hare gets the basket to go. 30-28 our score here, as Hare gets his first basket of the game, coming off a 16-point performance against Gavilan last time around. 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Marshawn Smith, 15-footer from the baseline, no good. Ball was tipped up by Clark and cleaned up by one of his teammates here. Coelho over to an 18-footer for Clark. Offensive rebound by Hare, and Hare back-to-back baskets, 32-28. 4-point lead here as the Vikings have given up 2 pretty easy baskets off some offensive rebounds here. About an 11-second shot clock, game clock difference. Losing the handle was Kai Curry. Curry able to pick the ball up, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by COS. So the Vikings will send an offensive package here, trying to get a clean last shot. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. 26.1 seconds remaining here in the first half. And we'll get one more late substitution. So Moselle Wilson alongside Lorenzo Pardo, Keys, DJ Evans, and Hurtado to inbound it from the far sideline. Working left to right, the Vikings get over to Mo Wilson. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Keys. Mo Wilson, left side of the basket, turns around, back over to the top of the key, and our right wing not taken was Vinny Hurtado. Tried to get her into the basket to Mo Wilson. And 10 seconds remaining here. Vikings unable to get a clean shot off. Slipping down on the ground, and a travel will be called against COS. So one more opportunity at the basket with 5.7 seconds remaining. After it was Jaden Harris slips on the floor and is called for the travel. Vikings trailing by 4 here at the 5.7 second mark. They'll have to inbound it from the far side of the baseline, and the officials will clean up some sweat beforehand. We don't have any official stats throughout this early going, but the Vikings have definitely done a terrific job on defense, holding COS to under 50% shooting. It's probably closer to the 30% number. And the Vikings, in a real hard-fought battle as COS has been fighting for boards, playing some stout defense. They got a few different blocks today as well. Vikings spring down the near side of the floor. Hurtado over to Pardo. 4-3, no good. Hit the front of the iron, a good-looking shot and the clean turnaround jumper from Lorenzo Pardo, but that'll send us to the break. 32-28 our score after 20 minutes of play here at the DVC Vikings Palladium on Steve Cochimilio Court. And we'll take the time alongside with them here, sending it to our halftime break. But before we go over to halftime, just want to remind you guys that the 10th annual poker tournament is coming up for DVC. $40 to attend, $75 buy-in to play, and $20 for every rebuy. So it will be taking place on Saturday, February 3rd, 2024 at the DVC HSF building. And it will start at 5:30 and the tournament will begin at 6 p.m. So join us alongside a bunch of our favorite people here at DVC Athletics. First place will get a $500 Visa gift card. Second place, $250. Third place, $200. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker and buy your tickets today. We'll have a ton of fun, and I'm excited to see everybody who comes along for the ride. So 32-28 our score here, and we'll give you some halftime stats actually with some points before we send it to the break. 11 points for Ben Tejas alongside 5 points for Lorenzo Pardo, 4 points for Marshawn Smith, and DJ Evans some found money off the bench. 2 3-point shots sunken in by DJ Evans gives him 6 points alongside the 2 points for Elijah Keys. On the other side of the floor, Davis White has 3 points alongside Amari Nesbitt, 7 points. Coelho has come out after not scoring in the first 10 minutes of play or so and has 11 points alongside the 4 points of Jaden here and the 4 points of Cameron Clark, and that brings us to our score 32-28. So we'll send it to halftime here on DVC Vikings Live. Just another friendly reminder, the DVC 10th Annual Poker Tournament will be taking place Saturday, February 3rd, 2024 at the DVC HSF building. It'll start at 5:30 and the tournament will begin at 6 p.m. Come in to 10. We've got a ton of fun coming your way. $40 to attend. You get drinks and you get food. $75 to play. $20 rebuys. First place will get $500. Second place will get $250. Third place will get $200. Go to eventbrite.com and search DVC Poker to join us. That'll be a lot of fun. And I expect to see a lot of the followers of the green and white to come alongside with us and attend. I mean, I just can't stop remarking on how fun of a night that it can be. So back on the floor here, about 5 seconds left in the halftime break. COS came out a little early. They got some shots up before the Vikings did so. It'll be interesting to see. The Vikings only got about 3 minutes of warm-up time compared to the 5+ minutes of COS. So I want to see if the Vikings can come out with some heat in the second half. At the 20-minute mark here, the Vikings will send out Lorenzo Pardo, Kai Curry alongside Michael Wood, Elijah Keys, and Ben Tejas. So the starters back on the floor for the Vikings. To get this one started, Michael Wood at the midcourt stripe. To get the first inbound here, and on the other side, it'll be the starters as well. Argandar, White, Nesbitt alongside Coelho and Clark. I got that wrong just a moment ago, but we'll get you set up in just a moment as Ben Tejas has the ball. Michael Wood slashing down the middle of the lane, has the ball knocked away. Tries to find Tejas in the quarter, but instead it'll be Kai Curry. Right wing now, a wide open shot, drained by Lorenzo Pardo. Pardo came out, missed the last three-point shot and a pretty decent look, and he's got 8 points now, cutting the lead back down to 1. 32-31 the score here as the Vikings trail the number 8 team in the state by 1 point. Corner three-point shot, trying to answer the call, and is able to do so. Let's see who it was. I can't quite get a number up to this point, and it was Alex Agandar from the corner, draining the triple, extending the lead back out to 4. Pardo to Kai Curry, and Curry will set between the circles as he crossover dribbles, hands the ball up over to Tejas. Tejas down the right side of the lane, nearly turnover was Pardo as he got the ball on the quick pass. 6 seconds left, spinning around, 15-footer from the left elbow, doesn't take it, instead a kick out to a straightaway three-point shot, falling to the ground, and a foul on a three-point play. Lorenzo Pardo will earn his trip to the free throw line as Jose Coelho will pick up his first foul and the first foul of the half on COS. Second time in this game that the Giants of the College of Sequoias have fouled a Vikings three-point shooter. Vikings doing a terrific job just really setting up their stroke. And the hard closeouts for COS really forcing them into a difficult position. First free throw by Lorenzo Pardo, up and in. He's got 9 points now. And let's get you a reset on the players on the floor for COS. It'll be Alex Argandar alongside Omari Nesbitt as the second free throw is up and in. 10 points now for Lorenzo Pardo. That's some good scoring from one of the second best scorers on the Vikings after Ben Tejas, that is. Cameron Clark, Jaden Hare, and I believe it will be Alex White, the final man on the floor. Or Davis White, I should say. The lob inside, way too far behind his big man. Cameron Clark went flying up, trying to put the two-handed jam down, but instead it'll be a turnover on the Giants at the 18:41-minute mark. Quickly down the floor, the Vikings trying to catch the US off guard after the inbound pass, but instead it's a spin around. Turning around underneath the basket. Bounce pass over to Keys. Keys goes up, missed his shot, just get held up a little too far in the air, and Cameron Clark's presence forced the Vikings to turn that ball over. Argandar in the crossover, has the ball knocked away. Vikings trying to get the steal. Instead, the ball stays with the Giants. Coelho dribbling from between the circles will work his way over the left wing now. Lorenzo Pardo's on the man-to-man defense there. Kai Curry fighting hard underneath against Hare. Has a big size advantage there. Is Hare. And a wide open opportunity now as Nesbitt able to bottom the net, giving him double digits there. That's a guy you can't leave open. 42% three-point shooter. And the lead is back up to 4 for COS. An even half up to this point as the Vikings trail by 4. And the 18-footer on the pirouette. And Ben Tejas answers the call. He's got 13 points now, and it's now a 2-point deficit for the Vikings. 17:30 remaining as Argandar crosses the timeline. Handoff on the right wing, it goes over to Hare. And now Coelho working one-on-one against Pardo. Pulls up from the right elbow. And Coelho, man, his shot is smooth. Elevates cleanly, flick of the wrist. And it's 40-36. Curry being pressured by Argandar. Left Ben Tejas all alone, but Tejas off the mark here. Keys got hit in the face as he is able to facilitate an offensive rebound, and the right-handed shot off glass. It's Michael Wood getting his first basket of the game, and he gets the contact. Michael Wood to the free throw line to try to cut this lead down to 1. Wood, a 50% free throw shooter, 60% from the free throw line, and he was great from the stripe. Pardon me, that's actually his field goal percentage. 11 points, 5 for 6 from the field in this last game. No free throws, though, so we'll get a look at what he's able to do. Misses the attempt, so it's 40-38 now. Still a 2-point game after the missed and one opportunity by Wood. And a foul on the other side of the basket. Kai Curry will likely pick it up. Curry got all up into the space of Jose Coelho, the sophomore from Harlem, New York. And it will give him opportunity, the 76% free throw shooter, to go to the free throw line to make it happen. If my records stand correct, I believe Coelho missed the last game against Gavilan. But he's been on fire tonight, one of the best scorers on the team. Makes his first free throw of the night. He's the best free throw shooter on the team and makes the most as he's able to drain both of them. Leading scorer of the game at 15 points now. Right behind him, Ben Tejas at 13. But he has 28 more free throw shots than the next man, so he knows how to draw contact very well. 16th in the 3C2A in terms of points per game, and he's showing off his scoring ability tonight. Vikings answering with a wide open three-point shot, or pardon me, a straightaway three-point shot by Pardo as he misses it. And now a left wing transition three. Amari Nesbitt has his second triple of the half as he has 13 points now. That extends the lead for COS. 45-38. 7-point advantage here at the half for the Giants. Baseline jumper is blocked. Kai Curry elevated, and a terrific job by Coelho, only his third block of the year. Same exact spot, doesn't take the shot, instead defers over to Clark, and a right wing opportunity there, bullied underneath the basket to get the offensive rebound, and a wide open two-handed jam for Cameron Clark. Vikings need to take the timeout now, as it is a 5-point advantage at the halftime break here. Vikings just looking a little bit cold right now. More physicality played by the weight of the Giants, and the number 8 team in the state have a 9-point lead at the 15:47 minute mark here of the second half of play. Vikings needing to fight back badly here on DVC Vikings Live. Irv Anderson clearing off his whiteboard as he draws up a play. Next time the Vikings have an opportunity to go back in offense. And let's see what Irv Anderson has drawn up here. Vinny Hurtado and DJ Evans come back into the game. We'll give you the 5 in just a moment. Spinning around Vinny Hurtado. Tight-knit defense here, pushing all the way out. And a right wing opportunity for Ben Tejas was a little too strong, and the Vikings unable to answer the big run from COS up to this point. 5-point run. Trust drop step inside, and DJ Evans will be called for too much contact on defense. Evans will pick up his first here. Had a couple three-point shots drop early on in the game. And it'll be a sideline inbounds now. 2 fouls apiece on both sides. And Coelho, with 20 seconds left on the shot clock, will be defended by Tejas. A pass inside and a flicker underneath to Hare. And Hare has the ball knocked away. Claps as his tattoo jiggles just a moment off his left arm. And Marshawn Smith, who hasn't gotten too much playing time in this early going, will come back in. Smith had a productive couple of minutes here as he has 4 points, coming off of a 4-point effort as well. Not the greatest scoring night against Sacramento City College. Went 2 for 11 from the field. But in one of the previous games to that, as the Vikings played Butte, that was their last victory, 88-59. He had a big basket, and instead, off the camera, but a turnover on the inbounds for the Vikings and an easy bucket for COS. Wasn't able to see who that one was on, but it's an 11-point lead, the first double-digit lead of the night for the Giants. Straight away, Marshawn Smith answers with a 3 of his own. No good, side of the iron, missed. Karen brought in by Cameron Clark. Vikings late on the defense there, but Nesbitt doesn't get the shot off. Nesbitt, right wing, contested by Smith. Side of the iron, miss, tipped up in the air. Vikings able to break away with Pardo. Lob ahead. Right-handed kiss off the glass for Marshawn Smith. Marshawn Smith cuts it back down at a 9-point game, and the Vikings finally able to break the streak for the Giants. 14-15. 2 fouls apiece still on the floor, and the bounce pass goes over to Coelho between the circles. Trying to drive past Pardo. Pardo plays a good defense and forces a shot off the right side of the iron. Vinny Hurtado crosses the midcourt string. DJ Evans now cuts inside, back over to Smith. Smith down the right side of the lane, drops it off, and the left-handed shot for Elijah Keys is good. He's got 4 points off a terrific feed from Marshawn. Marshawn has got his fingerprints all over the last couple minutes of play here. 49-42. Coelho over to Argandar, back over to Coelho, 15 seconds left. Top of the key, Jackson Clark has it. And Argandar, 4-3. There's a flat shot that went over to Hare, and Hare gets into the body. No call there, but the basket is good. Hare with 6 points now, and a good job by Keys just standing his ground, but a better offensive opportunity by Hare. Evans doesn't take the 3, instead flips back over to Pardo. Pardo pump fakes from NBA range. And now Marshawn Smith will have it with 12 seconds left. Mid-range jumper, tipped in the air. Vikings get a fresh reset of the clock. Marshawn Smith, jab steps inside. Cross-court pass, Evans, right wing. Evans for 3. DJ Evans, 9 points as he nails down his 3rd triple of the game. And the Vikings close the lead back down to 6, 59-45 our score here at the 12:56-minute mark of this second half of play. Back on the other side of the break here on DBC Vikings Live. Kai Curry comes back in, so it'll be Michael Wood, Kai Curry, Vinny Hurtado, Marshawn Smith, and DJ Evans, who just knocked down the last 3-point shot. Back to a 6-point lead. It was 4 points at the halftime break, 51-45 currently, with 2:50 to play at the second half. Crossover dribble for Coelho. Instead, back over to Nesbitt. Nesbitt feeds inside the block. Works his way inside, but leaves it short. Put back no good. Offensive rebound by Nesbitt. Nesbitt, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. It didn't reset, so I think the officials are going to stop this one. A few good-looking opportunities underneath the basket as they're really trying to use the size difference with Jaden Hare at 6'7" against the different players for the Vikings. Vikings giving up about 4 inches depending on the matchup there. And Hurtado comes out. In comes Ben Tejas, right side inbound from the baseline for the Giants. Left all alone on the inbound, Argandar collects it and gets his first basket. Argendar, the leading assist man at 6.2 assists per game. He was off a nice feed from Nesbitt there as Ben Tejas came back into the game, left his man open after the inbounds pass. And the inbounds man is always the most dangerous. You got to factor that in. 18-foot jumper straight away, no good for Michael Wood. And it's Jaden Hare collecting another rebound. Flying through, running up the steps there. A full Superman effort by Michael Wood, selling out to get that ball. Fortunately, he didn't get hurt on the play as he had to run a couple bleachers after that one. Ball will stay with COS though, 53-45. From the left wing, they'll rotate back around the perimeter. Coelho, back over to Nesbitt, and Nesbitt has been on fire in this second half. 3 3-point shots. And under 10 minutes of play here. Vikings answering with a 3 of their own, flying inside. Michael Wood trying to get the rebound after the missed shot from Tejas. And now with an 11-point lead, COS goes straight to the hole. No good. Putback is good. Cameron Clark followed up after a missed shot from Nesbitt. And Clark now has 8 points, just at his season average at 7.8 per game. Vikings falling behind after cutting the lead back down to 5, I believe it was a moment ago. And now a reach-in foul called against the Giants. That'll be their third, and it'll be the first one called against Argendar. Argendar foul, so from the hash mark here, Marshawn Smith tucking in his jersey will inbound. Same unit still on the floor for the Vikings here. Marshawn Smith scanning across the floor, over to Tejas. Tejas falls down, the ball's knocked away, and a steal as Michael Wood dives in trying to get that ball, but it was knocked out of bounds. And it looks like Ben Tejas might be shaken up just a moment, stomping on the ground with his left foot. Maybe trying to get some traction back here, and the Vikings need to get some traction back on offense here. The 3-point shot has been dropping in the second half for the Giants of the College of Sequoias, and it's been one of the big differences here in this 58 to 45 point game. Three fouls on COS, 2 fouls against the Vikings. No team has been in the bonus up to this point. It's been a very physical game, but the officials are just letting it go. It was working in the favor of the Vikings in the first half. Going back to some of the numbers we were talking about, when a team shoots less than 52%, so 38% field goal shooting, and wins, and 52% in losses for the Vikings. And from the outside, 26% for the opponent to 46% wins and losses for the Vikings. Did a terrific job in the first half as they put on a 3/4 court pressure, but it results in a travel underneath. Oh, goodness. Jaden Hare was underneath the basket as he sprung past the 3/4 court pressure of the Vikings and just was left alone, didn't know what to do with himself, and traveled. Marshawn Smith had it for just a moment as Irv Anderson says, hey, pass the ball back out over to Kai Curry and run the set, run the offense. The Vikings need to score badly, down 13. Falling to the ground on the left wing, Tejas gets up slowly. The wet spot alongside the wing has been there all along. Crossover, back over to Wood now. And Wood gets inside, low block right, no good. The putback, no good. Marshawn Smith tried to throw it back down, but instead, it's a ball over to Sequoias. COS. And the Giants turned it over on the other side of the floor at the 10:28 minute mark here. Some substitutions here as 3 different rotational men will come in. It's Davis White alongside Jalen Lee and Mikey Fletcher coming in. The last 2 on the floor for the COS Giants is Omari Nesbitt alongside Jose Coelho. The Vikings have DJ Evans, Marshawn Smith, Ben Tejas. And in a moment when they come into camera range, we'll give you the last 2 players. That wet spot's been a hindrance on the floor tonight. Both the wings have had a few different wet spots here on the left side of the floor. The last 2 on the floor for the Vikings will be Michael Wood and Kai Curry. Smith defers the screen. Instead, straight to the hole, but no. Terrific opportunity. I think if he slammed that one down, it would have gone for Marshawn Smith, but he tried to finger roll at the basket, and it was no good there. And in transition, Coelho, 3-point shot, drains it, and he's got 18 points now. Insult to injury there. A missed basket on one side and a wide open three on the other side, and it'll force another timeout out the pocket of Irv Anderson as the Vikings fall behind 61-45 here, under 10 minutes to play in the second half on DVC Vikings Live. A 16-point advantage for the Giants here, as they are plus 12 in the half up to this point, and the Vikings will be in a crucial stretch of the game here, under 10 minutes to play. And I'm not sure what the officials are talking about here, as the Vikings will have to rotate around. It'll be the 4th team foul called against COS. So after the 14 foul, Michael Wood gets it from the inside. And a two-handed jam this time by Marshawn Smith. Smith learned his lesson there. Oh, and he might have turned his ankle coming down. Oh, that is not good. Smith had an opportunity to slam it down with one hand last time out, but Romeo Traylor will help his friend up the floor. Oh, that is not good. The officials and the training staff alongside Romeo Traylor will help Marshawn Smith off. I looked down for just a moment, but he looks like he might have turned his ankle landing on that jam. So hope Marshawn Smith can come out on his own power at some point, but that'll be a big factor for the Vikings going forward. 61-47 after the two-handed slam from Marshawn Smith. Breaks the streak for COS, but he has to check out now. Hope he gets better quickly. Corner for Davis White. Right wing now for Coelho. Over to the corner. And Mikey Fletcher's three-point shot's no good. Another offensive rebound for COS. They've dominated the offensive boards up to this point at the 9:20 mark. Lob over the corner. Nesbitt inside, trying to drop it off over to his big man. The ball is ricocheted off his hands and back into the hands of Nesbitt. Coelho off the flicker. Feeds over to the corner now for Jalen Lee. Jalen Lee, jump pass. 7 seconds left. Straightaway three-point shot. Coelho, front of the iron, miss. And a foul underneath the basket, as I believe it will be the third on Jalen Lee. Jalen Lee just threw Michael Wood down to the turf, or down to the hardwood floor, I should say. That's the 5th foul. So if the Vikings get 2 more and get some shots off at the free throw line with no time elapsing, that'll be big. It's a 14-point lead now for COS, and the Vikings really need to get things together quickly here in the second half. Vikings played a very good first half of play, down 4 at the half, but now it's 61-47. 15-footer from the baseline. Michael Wood misses the shot, flying in for the rebound. I believe it was DJ Evans, but wasn't able to get the board. Instead, the mid-range jumper on the other side is missed by COS, and Ben Tejas will shovel ahead over to Kai Curry. A drop-off. Right-handed shot is blocked off the glass. It was blocked. Michael Wood there. No goaltend on the play, though. And now a corner three-point shot. Everything is going down for COS at this point. Vikings played a terrific 22 minutes of defense, but the second half has just not gone their way. 17-point advantage here as Lorenzo Pardo comes to the scorer's table for the Vikings, and they need scoring in bunches quickly now. Elijah Keys rolling to the hoop, the drop-off, and the kiss off the glass once more for Michael Wood. That's only his 4th point there, but a nice 2-man, 3-man game there for the Vikes. 15-point lead. Vikings putting on some pressure now. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Under 8 minutes to play. Vikings get a steal here. Benteas running straight to the hole. Benteas turned around as two different defenders got inside his vicinity. Jumps inside, and ball's knocked away. The foul on COS, so the Vikings one away from the single bonus now. And Benteas just looks a little gassed here. Hands on his hips as Lorenzo Pardo comes in, replacing DJ Evans. It won't be a shooting foul, so Kai Curry will inbound from the right side of the baseline on the Horns logo on that baseline. And the Vikings working right to left once more. Curry scanning the floor, being shadowed by Mikey Fletcher. Over to Tejas from the right wing. Still nearly a full shot clock. 15-footer for Pardo, and Lorenzo Pardo insert into the game. And he's got a quick 2 points there, cutting the lead back down to 13. 12 points for Pardo tonight behind the 13 of Benteas. Feed inside over to Jackson Lee. Jackson Lee doubled underneath by the two bigs for the Vikes. And I believe it'll be Elijah Keys picking up his second foul against Elijah Keys, and some rotation here. Argandar will come back into the game alongside Jaden Hare. Only 6 points for Hare, but he's been a big physical presence underneath the basket for them tonight. The other players on the floor will be Jalen Lee alongside Mikey Fletcher and Davis White. Those are the 5 on the floor for COS. Ball's whipped out of bounds, and another turnover on the Giants. Argandar, only 2 turnovers per game, and the Vikings have forced him a little past that number, if I'm not mistaken. A shell of a defense of a three-quarter court pressure for the Giants, and the Vikings will bring it across the floor with Kai Curry. Curry cutting straight to the hoop. Curry works around. Over to Michael Wood, a left wing three. Michael Wood's triple is in. 7 points for Michael Wood, only his second made three-point shot of the year, and the Vikings cut it down to 10. Under 7 minutes to play here, the Vikings pressure has worked. They still got a hill in front of them as the out-of-bounds play by Davis White there. It wasn't an out-of-bounds play, but the ball went over to Davis White in the corner, and he dribbles out of bounds. Something that opponents don't necessarily factor in. It is the black line on the sideline that is the out-of-bounds mark here. It's not the green sideline. A lot of players step out of bounds, and this time dribbled out of bounds by White. Under 6:30 to play. Lorenzo Pardo, no-look pass to a cutting Benteas. And a terrific feed to Benteas gives him 15 points, and the Vikings cut it back down to single digits. 8-point lead for COS. Vikings fighting back here on a little streak of their own. Mikey Fletcher bounces inside. It goes to Jalen Lee. Jalen Lee doubled. Has to throw it back out over to Argandar. Right wing now for Davis White. Davis White, no good. Offensive rebound by Jalen Lee. And a foul on the floor will go against the Vikings. That's only their 4th. So we asked for some stronger defense, and we got exactly that. More size coming back onto the floor as Mikey White at 5'11" will check out. In comes Coelho, 6'1", averaging 20 points per game. He's got 18 points up to this point. The inbounder will be Argandar. Left side of the baseline, Argandar scanning down the floor. Vinny Hurtado checks back in for the Vikings, and the ball's knocked away. It goes in the backcourt, but it'll be called a tip. So with 22 seconds left on the shot clock after the tip ball, it'll be Jose Coelho handling for just a moment before getting over to Argandar. Coelho from the right wing, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, 5:45 remaining. Keys on the defense against Coelho, works his way around the horn, and has the ball tipped out of bounds. Last touch off a Vikings player with 9 seconds left. Hurtado, Michael Wood, Elijah Keys, Benteas, and Lorenzo Pardo, the 5 on the floor for the Vikes. Inbounds pass goes over to Cameron Clark. 15-footer, side of the iron miss, and Jaden Hare missed the shot, and a foul on the floor as well. It'll be a foul on the rebound against COS, so we'll send the Vikings to the free throw line for a one-on-one opportunity. That's the second against Cameron Clark. Davis White checks out. Omari Nesbitt back into the game for the Giants. And the foul will go send Elijah Keys to the free throw line. Keys 0 for 1 in this early going. Only 5 for 8 on the year. And these will be big free throws here. Vikings trail by 8 at the 5:37 mark. Elijah Keys taking a deep breath at the free throw line, trying to cut back into this deficit. Bends the knees, extends, flips it up. And Elijah Keys has 5 points now, and he's 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Front end of the 1-and-1 in, and he'll have another opportunity to get another point here, as it's a 7-point game, trying to close it down to a 2-possession game now. Bend on the knees, flips it up. And the second free throw is good. Keys makes it when it matters. He's got 6 points now, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, and it's a 6-point game. Vikings in the single bonus as there's 7 fouls against College of Sequoias, only 4 fouls against the Vikings. Vikings double the man in the corner. It's over to Nesbitt, and Nesbitt nearly turns it over. Instead, it's Hare straight to the hoop, swatted away, but a foul in the process. Michael Wood came back on defense to really clean up the ball, as it was a wide open shot initially by Jaden Hare, but the foul on the block will send Jaden Hare to the free throw line. The 50% free throw shooter, 15 for 30 on the year, so not the worst person you can send to the line here. A 6-point game at the 5:24-minute mark. Michael Wood picks up his 3rd foul, though, so that's something to factor in. Bends the knees, the flip of the wrist, and on the other side, Hare's got 6 points now. 1 for 1 from the free throw line for the 6'7" freshman. Second free throw for Hare. Fills the cup as well. 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And he's above 50% on the year now. 17 for 32 from the free throw line now. 66-58 our score. Elijah Keys sets a screen for Benteas. And a nice 2-man game once again as Michael Wood wheels that ball in. Michael Wood's got 9 points. Elijah Keys with the nice assist. Big man to big man, and it's a 6-point game once more. Under 5 minutes to play here in the second half. Ball nearly tipped away. Argandar gets it. Throws it inside. And that's 10 points now for Cameron Clark as the Vikings left the big all alone. 8-point game once more, 68-58, or 68-60. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Last touch off of Keys, so the Vikings turn it over in a crucial moment with 4:41 remaining. Kai Curry will replace Lorenzo Pardo. Vikings likely starting to put on some defense for offense substitutions and go ahead and play that game up to this point as DJ Evans comes to the scorer's table as well. Evans, three-point shots throughout the game so far. Clark back over to Nesbitt. Now it's Argandar. Jose Coelho using as much clock as possible here. Wide open. It's Coelho from the right wing. Coelho from the eye miss. And the board brought in by Benteas. 4:11 remaining. Between the legs with the dribble, it's Kai Curry. Curry has no points today, coming off a 13-point performance against Sacramento City College. And now a crossover inside, a 12-foot floater, and Michael Wood has been putting the team on his back in the second half here. 11 points now for Michael Wood, and it's back to 6. Under 4 minutes to play here. And a 10-second violation called against COS, using way too much time to cross the court, and they'll be called for the violation here. DJ Evans will replace Elijah Keys, so it'll be Michael Wood, DJ Evans, Vinny Hurtado, Benteas, and Kai Curry. Evans to inbound from the far sideline. Gets it in, over to Hurtado, and now Tejas from the right wing, a step back three. No good. Strong rebound by Clark. Now feed ahead over to Nesbitt. Spins around as Kai Curry, his defender, falls to the floor. Argandar to Coelho, and they'll still be content to use as much time as possible. Up 6. The roll by Hare to the hoop. Ball knocked away. Hurtado got it off the tip from Michael Wood. And now Tejas spins inside. Tries to go up with the scoop shot. And a shoulder shove against the Giants will send Benteas to the free throw line. The assistant coaches are loving it. Coach Connor and Coach Muhammad. And Elijah Keys back to the scorer's table. As Benteas, man, he's been taking some big hits in this early going. And he is still fighting through it. You can feel the energy he's expended tonight as his hands are on the knees, as He awaits his opportunities to shoot the 1-and-1 here. 8 fouls against the Giants. Trying to cut this game down to 4 now. A lot of sweat dripped onto the ground here on this penultimate day of the 2023 year. Happy New Year's to everybody. Just a couple days from the 2024 mark. And the Vikings trying to cap off the 2023 year with one more ranked victory against a top team in the 3C2A. First free throw for Tejas. Able to find the bottom of the net. Ben Tejas has 16 points. He's 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Trying to cut the lead down to 4 here. The Vikings trailed by as much as 15 points here in the second half. And Ben Tejas and company has fought back hard in the last 10 minutes of play as Ben Tejas able to knock down both of the free throws here on the 1-and-1. He's 3 for 4 from the line. He's got 17 points, and the Vikings cut the lead down to 4. Amari Nesbitt has the ball, and he'll defer back over to Coelho. Coelho, the best free throw shooter on the team, will do the majority of the handling here, and the ladder going. Amari Nesbitt over to Argandar. A feed over to his big man, Cameron Clark. And now it'll be Omari Nesbitt. Argandar from the left wing, slashing down the baseline, trying to drop it off, and does so over to Hare. And Hare gets the basket and the foul. Jaden Hare with 9 points now, trying to get his 10th from the stripe. And the foul will go against Elijah Keys. That's his 4th. Vinny Hurtado comes out. Lorenzo Pardo comes back in for some offense for the Vikings. And the Vikings at a 6-point deficit with the and one opportunity. Missed by Hare. Rebound by Keys. That was a big miss free throw shot here. Vikings still have an opportunity to get some good-looking shots at the 2:40 mark here, the second half. They trail by 6, and Kai Curry dribbling alongside the near side of the floor as he talks to head coach Irv Anderson calling the play. Falls down to the ground, able to get the ball before it's knocked away, and a timeout taken by Irv Anderson. That was a terrific timeout. And man, that right wing has been slippery like no other tonight. They've been cleaning it up left and right, but the Vikings fortunate to keep the possession alive here. So the 30-second timeout, and we'll take a quick timeout alongside with them here on DVC Vikings Live. The stream cut out just a moment ago, and we're fortunate to get it back online. Technological errors here, and we missed the last opportunity from the Vikings, but it's still a 6-point game, so it looks like the Vikings missed their last shot attempt. And just a moment ago, we saw an overplay by Lorenzo Pardo, so it doesn't look like we should have any other issues here going into the final 1:30 of this game, but the Vikings still trail by 6 points here. 72-66 at the 1:30-minute mark here on DVC Vikings Live. Take another quick timeout. Vikings come out with Michael Wood, Elijah Keys, DJ Evans alongside Kai Curry and Lorenzo Pardo. Inbounds pass with 3 seconds remaining here. Lobbing straight to the hoop, and the ball was overthrown, goes out of bounds, so the Vikings get a nice little stop on defense and keep their hopes alive here, down 6 here. 72-66, Benteas ready to check back in. Vikings need 3-point shots here with limited possessions remaining in this game. Let's see when the Vikings fully get set up on offense, who the 5 on the floor will be, and it looks like it will be Michael Wood, Kai Curry, Elijah Keys, Lorenzo Pardo, and Benteas. So only really 2 3-point shooters on the floor for the Vikings here, and those are Pardo and Tejas, obviously. Tejas gets the ball, a lob inside. Elijah Keys with a strong shot on the right side of the floor. And Elijah Keys will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. That'll be the 9th foul against COS. That'll be the 3rd foul against Coelho. 72-66, Elijah Keys to the free throw line to shoot 2. And that slippery spot alongside the left side of the wing will stay there as they continue to try to wipe it down. Keys trying to get another towel to clean up that spot as well, get his hands dry as he has 2 huge free throws coming up. The Vikings had a 4-point deficit going to the halftime break, and it ballooned up to 15 or 16 at one point, I believe, or even 17 if I'm not if I stand corrected here against COS. And the Vikings in the last 10 minutes of play have really fought back to get this one down to 6 points. And they've been around this 4 to 6 point mark, trying to get it back down to 4 points now as Irv Anderson joins the officials, trying to clean up the mess. Leading scorer for the Vikings is Benteas with 17 points. Lorenzo Pardo's got 12 points alongside 12 points from Michael Wood as well. DJ Evans with 9 points. And Elijah Keys has 6 points, trying to extend that up as he has 2 free throws to shoot at 1:25 remaining here in the second half, down 6. Massive free throws for Keys. Braids knotted up behind his head, and Elijah Keys now has 7 points. A massive free throw as Keys is now 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Hit those 1-on-1 opportunities, but now it's a 5-point game. Keys with a deep breath, dribbles with the right hand. Black sneaker on the left foot, white on the right foot, extends both of them, and Keys perfect from the free throw line, huge baskets, and the Vikings still have some life here. 1:22 remaining here, 72-68. Vikings put on the pressure, able to cross the timeline now with Mikey Fisher. Argandar with 16 seconds up on the shot clock, trying to use as much of it as possible. Vikings need a stop here. Can't give up a 3 as Nesbitt whips it over to the corner. A rotation, doesn't take the 3. Instead, it's a deep 2-point shot off the side of the iron. Vikings unable to get the rebound, and a fresh shot clock here. And a timeout taken by DVC, I believe. Or no, a timeout taken by COS. Securing the rebound was imperative there, and the Vikings were unable to do so. So in this situation now, as COS takes the timeout, they will be fully in the driver's seat now. So it's a 4-point game. After using about 30 more seconds left in the shot clock, it'll leave the Vikings with 20 seconds left, so the Vikings will have to get a 3-point shot foul and then play that game in that situation. So still some opportunity here, but the Vikings are behind the 8 ball, trying to fight their way out here on DVC Vikings Live. Nine fouls on COS, 6 on the Vikings, 72-68 our score here. 28 seconds left on the shot clock, 53 seconds remaining in the game. And the Vikings need to get a stop and need to get the rebound. They got the stop, but they didn't get the rebound. And that is one of the main reasons why the Vikings are in a difficult situation right now. Content to use as much of the clock as possible. Over the right wing, it's Argandar. And now, Mikey Fletcher doesn't take the three. Instead, a rotation around. Right corner, three-point shots out of the iron, miss. Keys with the strong rebound, and he's fouled. The foul will send Elijah Keys to the free throw line to shoot two. No time will come off the clock. So in this 4-point game, after taking an early shot, the Vikings are in a way better situation after an execution error from COS. Keys has knocked down the last 4 free throws. He's 4 for 5 from the line so far, and the Vikings in the double bonus can close this one down to a 1-possession game. First free throw up and in. Elijah Keys with a massive one. And Keys now has 9 points, trying to get to 10 at this point. It's a 1-possession game with the 3 now at the 34.3 second mark. Second free throw. Bottoms the net as well. Elijah Keys, ice in his veins from the free throw line, and it's a 2-point game now. COS 72, Vikings 70. About a 3-second shot clock, game clock difference now. Over to the corner. Now it's Coelho. Coelho nearly has the ball poked away. A double here. And a timeout taken by Dallas Jensen and the Giants of COS. The Vikings have fought all the way back from a 17-point deficit. They're 1 stop and 1 basket away from trying to get this victory over the number 18 in the 3-seed 2A. Trying to hand the Giants the 3rd loss of the year, and man, it's been a fun one here in the second half on DVC Vikings Live. A timeout, and we'll be back on the other side of the break once more. Four-second game clock, shot clock difference. The Vikings need a stop and need a basket, but if they can get a stop here, it is only a 2-point deficit. So huge moment here. Vikings need the stop and the rebound. We saw it last time around. The Vikings got the stop but not the rebound. And the same 5 come out on the floor. It'll be Mikey Fisher. He inbounds it over to Argandar, and Argandar has the ball poked away, and furious at the officials, it's Kai Curry. And the foul will go against Michael Wood. So a difficult situation to be here for the Vikings as they nearly get the steal, but instead they foul Argandar. But Argandar only a 59% free throw shooter. So they are in the single bonus now. That's why Argandar will have the opportunity to shoot it. But a 1-on-1 opportunity. So still a huge moment here with 17.6 seconds remaining. Massive free throw coming. Argandar dribbles it in. Oh, left it short for just a moment. Hit every side of the iron before going down, but it's still a 3-point game with 17.6 remaining. Argandar the second on the back end of the 1-and-1. COS will send their defense all the way back. They'll line up at the midcourt stripe. Argandar takes a deep breath, fires the free throw. He missed it. Vikings with an opportunity here. They'll take the timeout after Michael Wood gets the rebound. 16.4 seconds left, and the Vikings will have an opportunity to knock down a triple and tie it up at 73. Huge moment coming ahead of us as Argandar misses the back end of the 1-and-1, and the Vikings have some life. 16.4 seconds remaining, and another timeout will take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. Four seconds remaining. A 3-point game. The Vikings will have to inbound it from the right side of the baseline here. Michael Wood to have the trigger off the screen. And he'll get it over to Kai Curry, Lorenzo Pardo, DJ Evans, and Ben Tejas, the other players on the floor for the Vikes. Tight coverage. Ben Tejas over to the corner. Evans for three, front of the iron, miss, and they need a foul now. Evans had an opportunity, rushed it for just a moment, and the execution wasn't quite there. 4.1 seconds remaining, and the Vikings need 2 missed free throws. They had the opportunity, but Evans, who gets subbed out right now, just pulled it short. Nesbitt, the 75% free throw shooter, to the free throw line. And there's only 4.1 seconds remaining. The Vikings had the opportunity. They had the shot. Just a little rushed, and the string pull just a tad short. First free throw in, and now it's a 2-possession game. Absolute heartbreaker. And a timeout taken here. You can feel the collective sigh by the Vikings. They knew they had this one, an opportunity to come back, but just unable to execute in the end. So with this timeout, we'll keep it alongside us, and we'll give you some scores here. 17 points for Ben Tejas, 12 points for Lorenzo Pardo, 8 points for Marshawn Smith, who after a two-handed jam had to be helped off the floor. I believe he landed on somebody's ankle and twisted that up, so hopefully Marshawn Smith will be back, because the Vikings will be back on the floor on January 3rd. It'll be a doubleheader against Folsom Lake College. We're doing doubleheaders from this point out. We've got the Big 8 season going. Women's basketball will play at 5:30. Men's basketball will play at 7:30, and we'll have the coverage of both of those here on DVC Vikings Live. Going back to the stats here, Michael Wood with 11 points alongside DJ Evans at 9 points. And in double digits tonight, Elijah Keys, 7 for 8 from the free throw line. He's been a huge factor and one of the key parts of the Vikings coming back into this one after trailing 17 at one point here in the second half. But the Vikings, after the first made free throw by Omari Nesbitt, will see the second opportunity now by Nesbitt. 17 points for Nesbitt tonight. Had 3 triples in the early part of the second half. It was a big factor of why COS was able to get up by as much as 17. And now the Vikings will await a second one. Only 4.1 seconds remaining. Free throws up, finds the bottom of the net, so it's a 5-point game now. 18 points for Nesbitt. And the Vikings will fight this one all the way to the bitter end. Kai Curry flying down the floor as he is just knocked down. No foul there as he just came into our screen coming down like a breakdancer. 2.1 seconds remaining. And the Vikings will get one more opportunity, but this one looks like it's all she wrote. Last second three-point shot hits the rim, but the three-pointer is missed by Kai Curry, and I believe that'll actually be his first three-point shot attempt of the year. And the Vikings fought hard, but a bitter finish here at the Palladium to close out the preseason play. 75 COS, DVC 70. A 1-point advantage in the second half for the Giants, and they're the number 8 team in the 3C2A for a reason. They advanced to 11-2 on the year, 4-1 on the road, and the Vikings fall to 4-9 on the year going into the massive part of Big 8 play. Like I talked about before, they dropped the first game of Big 8 play against Sacramento City College And the Vikings looking to bounce back on January 3rd against Folsom Lake College. So until then, I wish you all a very happy new year. A bitter taste to end the 2023 year for the Vikings, but still a lot to play for in Big 8 play here for the DVC Vikings as they drop a very close game against the number 8 team in the Giants of the College of Sequoias. So women's basketball tip-off at 5:30, men's basketball at 7:30. Here on DVC Vikings Live, my name's Max Agress. Pleasure to bring you the broadcast again today. Wishing you and your family happy holidays and a happy new year, and hopefully a happier result on the other side of the broadcast. It's good to see Marshawn Smith being able to cross the floor in his own power, so maybe he'll be able to come back in a couple days there. But until next time, as always, horns up, folks. Thanks for joining me this evening.